important news article from economics. Okay, and this is the most important question, or you can say topic for your UPSC civil service exam. They can ask you in prelims, mains, as well as in interview also. So if you are preparing for UPSC exam and you are going to appear this year prelims exam, then you must prepare this topic, because this topic is from economic survey and this topic is also from economy. So they will ask you question from, most of the question in economics is a current affair based. Okay, and that current affair based question, you must know the all the concepts plus static portion. Okay, so you will find in economics there will be, if there will be a 12 question from economics, then out of 12 question, 4 to 5 question from static portion, and the rest 8 question is from your current affair. Okay, so this type of news always important, because this news will help you to know how a government is taking action against climate change, against sustainable development. Okay, that these topics are very, very important for exam point of view. So why it was in news called sovereign green bond? Okay, this is called sovereign green bond. What is called sovereign? Sovereign means whatever we say in our country. Within a country, when a government is authorized to do any things. Sovereign, and green means something related with environment. Okay, and bond is a term in economics that help to do infrastructure, to do business. Okay, so why it was in news? It was in news because of the recently our finance minister in her budget 2022 speech announced the government. She announced that government will increase capital expenditure. What government will do? Government will do capital expenditure, and this capital expenditure is your most important steps taken by central government for entire economic development, for infrastructure development, okay, for employment generation. Okay, so it will increase capital expenditure to massive 7.5 trillion in the next fiscal year. Okay, so what is this capital expenditure? So capital expenditure is very important term. Okay, you must know what are the example of capital expenditure. So buying a land, okay, buying a land for open hospital, okay, that is the example of capital expenditure. Or investment done by a government for creation of some bridges, some roads, okay, some in infrastructure, school, colleges, that is called a capital expenditure. It means to create some assets. The government action that help in creation of some assets in the country is called capital expenditure. You very well know revenue expenditure. Revenue expenditure like plan, non-plan expenditure. Okay, pension given to government employee after retirement is a part of revenue expenditure. Okay, revenue means where a government is not able to create any asset, but this is the liability of the government. And capital expenditure where government is creating some assets in the country. So in budget 2022, government, our finance minister said that she will means government, entire government will be do a massive infrastructure development, a massive increase in capital expenditure, that is 7.5 trillion in the next fiscal year. So with the help of this, what will happen? This will be help in boost infrastructure development in our country, employment generation. Okay, this will also develop the GDP of our country. Okay, and many foreign companies will come in India and do investment. Okay, so this is one of the, you can say it's like a capital, you can say a fiscal stimulus package. We use the word fiscal stimulus packages that announced by the government to improve the condition of economy of the country. Now the budget announcement that stand out in terms of boosting green investment. This also help for a green investment. What type of investment? It is not like cutting off large number of forest trees and instead of forest land, we are going to create a new infrastructure. That is not a sustainable. We are talking about here boosting a green investment. Green investment means like a renewable source of energy. We are doing investment in renewable source of energy. We can generate electricity by solar energy, wind energy. Okay, this type of area where investment is done by the government is called a green investment. Okay, that cannot means generate extra gases in the atmosphere, emission of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. That is completely will be phase out, and also doing investment in, that will be a more sustainable in nature. So it will be a government's promise to issue a sovereign green bond. Okay. So first of all, we should understand what is this green bond. Okay. Maybe in exam they can ask you question like consider the following statement regarding green bond, or they can ask you, give you some examples. So they will ask you like what which of the following is the example of green bond. So what is this green bond? So it is a type of fixed income instrument that is specifically earmarked to raise money for climate and environmental projects. So you know that in 2015, our government signed a Paris Agreement. Okay, and that Paris Agreement, where government promised that till by coming 2030, we will able to produce 40% of electricity by renewable source of energy. Okay, by solar energy, wind energy, all these things, and 2.5 to 3 billion ton means carbon sequestration, carbon sink source will be created by the government in the form of like increasing the forest cover. Okay, and we can means decrease the emission of carbon dioxide by reducing the use of fossil fuels. So that promises must be fulfilled by the government by coming 2030, so that a government alone will not do investment in all the sector. Government there's some private players should be also take interest for doing such an investment. Okay, so first green bond was issued in 2007 by the European Investment Bank in European Union lending arm. Okay, so maybe they can just for factual things they can ask you. This was followed by later by the World Bank. Since then, many government and corporation have entered the market to finance green project. So what is green project here? Green project only meaning is here that if any of the project where development of infrastructure which is eco-friendly, okay, that will be help in boosting means development of the country. Also, that is the more sustainable in nature. Okay. Now these bonds are typically asset linked and backed by the issuing entity's balance sheet. So they are usually carry the same credit rating as their issuer other debt obligation. Okay, so whoever will be issue this green bond, that will be have the same we can say credit means rating that have the same value. Okay, and those who will buyer who will buy this green bond, and this green bond help him to take a loan also, and also to take a loan from the bank, and they can do infrastructure do investment in infrastructure for creation of such things which will help in development of country's GDP. At the same time, it will be maintain sustainable development. So they are a designated bond intended to encourage sustainability and support climate related or other types of special environmental projects. Okay, so what is the aim and objective of these green bonds? Why government is means focusing on launching of this type of green bonds? So green bonds का main importance क्या है कि they are aimed at energy efficiency. Okay, we should able to do investment in those manufacturing of those type of lights, like we are using CFL in our home, and tubelights we are using that, and very of the electrical appliances we are using in our home. Okay, so basic idea here is that will be a more electric energy efficiency that can save electricity also, and give a same quantity of lights, same quality of light it should be produced. Okay, pollution prevention, that cannot be that cannot be cause for pollution. Okay, because already we have a lot of pollution in environment, like air pollutions, water pollution. Sustainable agriculture, agriculture must be a sustainable. Okay, like construct like we are focused on climate smart agriculture. Okay, like we do investment in irrigation facilities like drip and sprinkler irrigation. Okay, zero budget natural farming. Okay, where this is called sustainable agriculture, means using more and more organic manures instead of using chemical fertilizer. That will become a sustainable agriculture. Fisheries and forestry. Fisheries is one important area where chances of employment generation is more, and forestry also because of increasing the forest cover under agroforestry. Okay, is scheme of the government, social forestry, agroforestry. Okay, farm forestry. These are the some steps where a farmer will use will grow trees like a crop he is growing in their agriculture field. Now, the protection of aquatic and terrestrial ecosystem is very important, like wetlands, ponds, lakes. Okay, these are the very important. Terrestrial ecosystem is also important. Clean transportation. Okay, transportation of any of the goods will be a more cleaner, clean water and sustainable water management. This will be the areas where more infrastructure development project will be start, and that's why green bond facility was created. They also finance the cultivation of environmentally friendly technologies and the mitigation of climate change. This is the mitigation means we are able to like mitigation means like we are changing the source. We are focusing on source. What is the main source reason behind for pollutions and global warming? So if we will only once we will know the source is this is the source reason for global warming, then we will work on to change the particular source. Okay, so that will be the aims and objective under the green bond. Now, what is the need of green bonds in India? Okay, why government is because government also will say the bank you can reduce the interest rate for those who will want to take a loan for green investment, or maybe they will government also say that you can categorize those who will take a loan for infrastructure development in green projects, that will be a more priority lending rate. Okay, so these are many options, but why there is a green bond is here now? Because of climate change affect all of us. We know very well that affect all of us because of climate change. We see the consequences in our country. We see extreme weather events. We see melting of the Himalayan glaciers. Water means river water is further increasing. Many part of India where a drought, many part of India where a flood is a one problem. So anyhow, means entire part of the world, including India, is affected because of climate changes. But it is expected to hit the developing country the hardest. Developing country like India, okay, it will be more harder because still we have a challenge for removing poverty. Still our infrastructure is not properly developed, so that we can able to provide basic things in each and corner of our country, because roads are not good. Some of the places again electricity is not reached properly. Sanitation problem is there. Clean water is not reaches. So developing country have a lot of challenge apart from climate change. Okay, so this is very difficult to achieve the targets for a developing country. So its potential effect on temperature, precipitation pattern, sea level, and frequency of weather-related disaster pose a risk for agriculture, food, and water supplies. So this will be affected agriculture also, because in India you see 65% of agriculture farmers agriculture depend on monsoon. Okay, rest will be you will see in irrigation facility. Okay, so that agriculture is more affected if rainfall will be not happen good. Okay, food supply means food security will be affected if cultivation will be not happen good. So water supply also, there is many part of India still water crisis started. Okay, at stake are the recent gain in the fight against the poverty, hunger, disease, and the lives and livelihood of people living in developing country. So clean water and food security are at risk in the world today, and about 1 billion of the planet's 8 million animal and plant species face extinction. So this is the where population of the particular species completely declined, and one time will become this species will be disappear from the earth surface, that will become extinct. Okay, so it's critical to connect the environment project with the capital market and investors and channel capital toward sustainable development. Okay, so this is the main idea here is to connect environmental project. If we will provide an environmental project, then this project will be helped in a development of private player will become, and they will they will do a more infrastructure development. Okay, for sustainable development. Okay, second important thing is challenges. But what are the challenges associated with the green bonds? Because this is the most you can say this type of question maybe they can ask you in mains exam also. The first challenge is borrowing program. Means borrowing program means how the this bond will be distributed among who will be the buyers. The government has a gross borrowing program of around 14.95 lakh crore, but in this case there will be earmarking of the amount raised to a specific targeted project. Therefore, the crux is that the recipient of such fund should be compliant. Okay, that those who will be take a loan for this infrastructure development, that must be fulfill their goals according to the time. Okay, and if a government will be without any taking a responsibility or without taking care, if government will provide a loan to any of the means party, if they will not able to do investment, they will not return back to the government the fund, then this will be a create a NPA, means non-performing assets. Now the monitoring challenge is, it is very difficult to identify with those who have taken a loan for a green project in the name of green project, whether they are doing investment in a particular area or not. So there would be a challenge with respect to monitoring how its green grading performs. Okay, so this will be challenges until such a time the system of evaluation is streamlined, as deviation from the norm are hard to capture. Now, another is called pricing issues. Should they be lower than the regular bond or higher is the major question here. Ideally, it needs to be higher. This is because investors need to be rewarded for choosing to promote ESG goals. Okay, environment sustainable goals. This type of programs that government I started, and many of the investors who are taking these loans. Okay, that will be help in further development of infrastructure. So on the other side, it can be argued that the rates can be lower than normal because investors like to reward green projects anyway. So many of you say this rate should be more higher than normal, or it should be lower than normal. So it depends on the type of infrastructure and what type of project they are taking. Overseas launch is the main. The downside is that once the government goes global, then credit rating will matter a lot, as all bond issued globally need to be rated. Okay, so that foreign buyers will only buy if the rating will be a good. Once one is rated by them, there is a constant scrutiny on domestic policy. Presently, this does not matter because the government of India does not borrow from the overseas market. Now, what are the benefits of investing in green bonds? So why it is important to do investment in green bonds? So environmental causes. First is, environment is the main reason. So green bonds provide a way to help environmental causes through investing. Okay, so whatever the environmental problem we were able to solve by do investments. So buying a green bond might be too costly for retail investors. Okay, this will be too costly for retail investors. Still, there are green bonds that make it easy to invest in a basket of green bonds. Exemption from taxes. This will be help in exemption from the taxes. Okay, green bond provide you with a way to earn income that is exempt from the taxes. You will have to pay a very less tax. This type of some relaxation is given by the government for infrastructure, green infrastructure development. No harm. The money that is being invested is being used in a way that is not harmful. Okay, this is not harmful for any way. Fight climate change. To the green angle attracts the growing number of people who are more aware of and want to act to help fight climate change. Higher demand for green bonds equal to lower cost of money, which means reduced spending for business. These savings are passed on the investors in the form of dividend or used to lower the cost of fund, thus increasing the profitability. This will help increasing profitability also. Some issuers also use the money to help restore the water habitat and biomes and to take steps to reduce the carbon output. These bonds tend to carry the same credit rating as other debts issued by the same firm. Okay. Now, green bonds and India. We'll talk about in India how a green bonds in India started. So green bond issuance in India in 2021 was exceptional, and it is set to a new record in 2022. So India already issued 6.1 billion of green bonds in 2021. It was the strongest issue since the first issue in 2015. So 2015 was the year when the first green bond issued by the Indian government. The government's promise to issue a rupee denominated sovereign green bond is an important step in the right direction. Okay, so government is promised to start for issuing of green bond will be help for the because this is the right direction chosen by the government for improvement of infrastructure. It should also consider issuing the rupee denominated sovereign bond offshore. Rupee denominated bonds issued outside India are popularly known as masala bonds. So this was a question in prelims already. They asked about the masala bond. Okay, 75% of Indian districts were over 638 million Indians reside. are classified as extreme climate event hotspot. So what is called extreme climate event hotspot? Where chances of if there will be little bit increase in temperature, so these areas will be heated more. Okay, this area will be affected more because of the climate change. The frequency of extreme climate events such as cyclones, okay, droughts, okay, the cyclone, droughts, flood pose serious risks to India's infrastructure. So India will need a 10.103 trillion by 2070 US dollar to be carbon neutral. So what is the carbon neutral? Means whatever the amount of emission of carbon dioxide that can be balanced with the natural. There should be natural balance. Carbon cycle must be natural. So we will very less fossil fuel is used in our country, and most of the sustainable clean energy is using for generation of electricity. Now, this amount of fund is required. The cumulative investment needed for net zero societies may be bigger than India's current size of the economy. Now, the green bond initiative by the government should be bring in a new set of investors to India's debt market, even as the budget was silent on India's inclusion in global bond indices. The sovereign green bond can support the proliferation of electric buses, allied charging infrastructure in India by providing cost-effective financing options. So this type of more private public transport, and that will be electrical vehicles is required more in today's time, because of this will help in less emission of pollution. Okay, now what should be the way forward, what government will do in future, so that this green bond program of the government will be a more successful. So tackle these immense challenges must involve both mitigation to avoid the unmanageable, all while maintaining the focus on social dimension. To address the climate change, it required unprecedented global cooperation across borders. Green bonds are the way to make this connection. Okay, so there is requirement of cooperation among the neighboring countries. Like if India is taking all the action and Pakistan is polluting environment by burning more of fossil fuels, then entire effort from the Indian side will be meaningless. So investment from a developed economy will be the need of the hour. Okay. Now this is the another important news article. This is called detailed project reports on rejuvenation of major rivers. So this is again important for your prelims as well for mains exam about river rejuvenation programs. Okay, what is rejuvenation of river? Rejuvenation means basically means reborn. When a river reborn, okay, it means what are the means the reason behind for slowing down of river. Drought condition is happened, so how we can increase the water more in a river so that it will be a long-term flow, and this will provide a sustainable development. So recently the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change released the detailed project reports on rejuvenation of 13 major rivers through forestry intervention. So rejuvenation of 13 major rivers through a forestry interventions. So river rejuvenation beyond Ganga. So 13 rivers spread over 24 states and 2 UTs to be rejuvenated through forestry interventions. So what are the important rivers are here, like Himalayan rivers, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Satluj, Beas, Yamuna, and Brahmaputra. Peninsular river like Narmada, Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, and Kaveri, and inland drainage like river Luni. So Luni river is the ephemeral river. So why forestry intervention? Forest absorb rainfall. Okay, slow runoff. It slow down the runoff. Most of the because so forests roots hold the soil together. Erosion will be a less. Okay, this will help in regulate the hydrological cycle. This is very important. They can ask you this in a prelims exam. Why forest intervention is required for rejuvenation program of rivers of India? So they can use all these options, and we have to select which of the option is correct. So forest absorb most of the rainfall. There is a more slow of runoff. This help in regulate hydrological cycle. It reduce the soil erosion. It improve the water infiltration. It recharge the aquifers, okay, and biological filters and bioremediation. So what is called this bioremediation? Bioremediation means using a bacteria for removing the pollutant from a given areas. So what are the potential benefit? This is like 7,417 square kilometer. Additional carbon sequestration 50.2 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent after 10 years. 74.76 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent and groundwater recharge 1889 million cubic meters per year. Now, for mains purpose, you must know what is called detailed project reports, okay, and rejuvenation of rivers. Why the forestry through forestry intervention? Forestry intervention help in following are the points. Okay, so your for prelims point of view, you should know this point, and for mains exam, if they will ask a question, then detailed project reports. So maybe they can ask you in GS paper 1 or GS paper 3, that is called environmental. So let's first focus on what is detailed project reports. So detailed project report were funded by National Afforestation and Eco Development Board, okay, under the Ministry of Environment, Forestry, Climate Change, and prepared by Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education, Dehradun. So where this is Indian Council of Forestry Research and Education, this is in Dehradun. Now this detailed project report, okay, will create a target. Okay, target, what type of target? Of a green cover expansion for upcoming 10 years and 20 years. Then future generation will be get a green India through the one bhagidari and jan bhagidari of the current generation. Okay, so this is called detailed project report that is prepared by these institutions, and it take a target of 10 to 20 years, okay, for green expansion. How we can able to increase the forest cover in India by important mission called Van Bhagidari and Jan Bhagidari. Jan means people. People participation is very important for increasing the forest cover in our country. And when we talk about the people participation, so who will be the participate? This is the participation by the local communities. Okay, then a student must be participate. Okay, multiple institution research team must be participate to know what how we can able to increase the forest cover. Now, detailed project report are expected to be executed through the State Forest Department as a nodal department, and with the convergence of schemes for other land department in the states toward the activity proposed in detailed project reports and funding support from the government of India. Now the 13 rivers for which this project are released are, you know, these all 13 rivers, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj. See all the tributaries of Indus River. Indus River is not present here, but that all 5 tributaries, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, Satluj is there. Yamuna is present, Brahmaputra is present, Luni is a ephemeral river that is present in northwestern India. Okay, Narmada, Godavari, Mahanadi, Krishna, and Kaveri. Now, this 13 river collectively cover a basin area of 18,90,000, or about 57.4% of the geographical area. Their length include 202 tributaries within the delineated surrounding 42,830 square kilometer. Okay, this is the what the area covered by this rivers. Now, river along with their tributaries are proposed for a forestry intervention. Okay, so forestry intervention we know very well. This help in a soil conservation. Okay, soil erosion will be not happen. Bioremediation. Okay, ground recharge karega. Okay, these all are the important function. So proposed for forestry intervention in the river scape under different landscapes, namely natural landscape, agricultural landscape, and urban landscape. So different area means natural forest. Okay, agriculture means agriculture area, and we also talk about in urban areas. So different models of forestry plantation, including timber species, medicinal plants, grasses, shrubs, and fuel fodder and fruit trees are aimed to augment water, groundwater recharge, and contain erosion. Now, what are the focused areas of a detailed project report? Focus on protection. It focus on afforestation. It focus on catchment, treatment, ecological restoration, moisture conservation, livelihood improvement, income generation, ecotourism by developing riverfront, eco parks, and bringing awareness among the masses. These are the some area. Not only investment but also public awareness is very important. Okay, because if they will come to know, then they are the main agent who will continue this process. Initially government will do all this investment, but how it will become a sustainable, this will be because with the help of participation of more people in this project. Okay, research and monitoring have also been included as a component, because without research and monitoring, research is very important to know what areas are there, what how to improve the development. That research and monitoring is important. So it detailed project report incorporate detailed geospatial analysis of the delineated riverscape, exhaustive review on the river environment, factor responsible for the current state, and prioritization of area using remote sensing and GIS techniques, along with field verification for proposed forestry intervention and other conservation measures through an extensive consultative process and designing and development of various treatment model for natural, agriculture, and urban landscape in each of the delineated river space. Okay, so these points are very important. Now, how it will be provided benefits of with the help of this project and forest intervention. So, forest intervention expected to increase the cumulative forest cover by 7,417 square kilometer across 13 river escapes. Now, this forest will increase. It means it will protect the soil erosion more. Okay, so it will increase the forest cover and it will help in soil conservation also. The proposed intervention would help to sequester 50.2 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent 10-year-old plantation and 74.76 million tons of carbon equivalent to 20-year-old plantation. Now, the proposed intervention in the 13 river escape would help in groundwater recharge to the extent of 1,889.89 million cubic meters per year and reduction in the sedimentation to the tune of 64,63,014 cubic meters per year. Okay. In addition, 449 crore is likely to be generated from expected non-timber other forest producers. It is also expected that employment of 344 million man days shall be generated through planned activities as provisional in 13 DPR, detailed project report. The activity proposed in DPR will be help achieve potential benefit of increasing the green cover, contain soil erosion, recharge water table, and sequester carbon. What is this sequester means? Carbon sequestration. Actually, the carbon dioxide that is absorbed by the vegetations. Vegetation use carbon dioxide for the preparation of their food by the process called photosynthesis. So this is where we store the carbon dioxide. When we store the carbon dioxide in a one location, that is called carbon sequestration. Okay, and that is the requirement present time for to fight against the climate change, because already concentration of carbon dioxide is very high in the atmosphere. So how we will able to decrease the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere? By increasing of forest cover. Okay, by like carbon sink, carbon sequestration. These are the some method. Okay, this is also known as green carbon. Green carbon is a concept where a green carbon where we increase the terrestrial vegetation. And then a blue carbon when we increase the aquatic vegetation, that come under blue carbon. So table and sequestered carbon dioxide in addition to benefit in the form of non-timber forest producer. So this effort would help India. Okay, wait a second. So this efforts would help India to meet its international climate commitment. As I told you, in 2015, government signed a Paris Agreement where they plan to addition carbon sink of 2.5 to 3 billion tons carbon dioxide equivalent through additional forest and tree cover by 2030 under the Paris Agreement of UNFCCC. It will help in restore 26 million hectares degraded lands by 2030 and halt biodiversity loss by 2030 under Convention on Biodiversity and Sustainable Development Goal. So with the help of this, we can able to achieve multiple targets, international target that is set by the government. So okay. So other major benefits are protection of natural resources and ecological restoration, saving aquatic life, treatment of catchment areas, moisture conservation, afforestation leading to less pollution. Okay. Promotion of ecotourism by developing riverfront like eco park, etc. Income generation for many and improved livelihood. Okay, ecotourism is very important. Tourism in like you visited many national parks, biosphere reserves, wildlife sanctuaries. Okay, that tourism is important, but that should be also eco-friendly. You not use any type of things that are harmful for the natures, like plastics and other chemical things. Okay, so always we are promoting ecotourism for entire development, because our main target is not only for economic generation but also for a entire tourism. Okay, that should be a eco-friendly income generation for many and improved livelihoods. Development of solid river rejuvenation plan, paving way for treatment of other polluted rivers, generating mass awareness through setting example of public participation. Public participation is very important, because this is the way how a government will able to achieve its target. Okay, so solid river rejuvenation plan, treatment of other polluted rivers. What are the challenges in front of this? So growing water crisis on account of depleting freshwater resources, especially due to sinking and degradation of river ecosystem, is a major impediment to achieving national goals pertaining to environment, conservation, climate change, and sustainable development. The next important news article that was recently news about the heat waves. Okay, and this is again a part of geography. They can ask you a question about heat waves. So recently, the Konkan region, okay, Konkan region, including Mumbai, has been experiencing a sweltering heat in the recent days, with maximum temperature touching to 40-degree mark. So this part of India called Konkan regions. Okay, this is the part of entire regions called Konkan regions, including this Goa part also. Okay, Konkan region. This experience are heat waves. Okay, so why this heat waves is happened these days, and what exactly this heat wave? So why is the Konkan experiencing heat wave condition? So the ongoing heat wave in a Konkan, including Mumbai, is the because it is under the direct influence of prevailing heat wave in the adjacent Saurashtra Kutch region of Gujarat. So this Saurashtra and Kutch region of Gujarat is the main. Okay, this area is already in a heat wave zones, and because this area is adjacent to this area, this is the Saurashtra Peninsula. Okay, this is the Gulf of Kutch Gulf of Kambhar, where this area is more under the influence of heat wave. So this area is also affected. The hot and dry wind from northwest India are reaching part of Konkan. Okay, so hot and dry wind from northwest part, from this northwest part of India is reaching, and that cause a dry condition. In addition, the slow movement of sea breeze along the Maharashtra coast and the overall clear sky condition have together resulted in such a hot condition. So, in addition, this is the slow movement of sea breeze. Sea breeze is like when a wind is moving from sea to land, and this has happened during a, I think during a night time. Okay, night time wind is moving from sea to land is called sea breeze. So this sea breeze, if this will be a more faster, then it will be reduce the heats. Okay, and that will be improve the condition. But this slow movement of sea breeze along the Maharashtra coast and overall clear sky condition have together resulted in such hot conditions. Okay, so this is very important to know how heat waves are, what are the causes of heat waves. So basically, heat waves are generally the result of trapped air. Okay, very important. So, you know, this is the time when condition in our country, this is like a month of March, April, is the time when sun is present over the tropic of, over the equator on 21st March. Sun will be present over the equator, directly over the equator, and that is called equinox. Okay, so this part of the water body little bit of warm. Okay, water जो warm होता है, and now entire North India is come under the means high pressure generated here. Okay, so heat wave are generally the result of trapped air. They occur when the system of high atmospheric pressure move into an area and at least 2 or more days. So high pressure is an area when air is moving downward. Okay, when air is sinking. Okay, जो air जब sink करता है, that's create a high pressure, and this high pressure actually cause for the it like forming a trapped air. See, this is like, suppose this is the case of India. This is the entire part of the upper part of the atmosphere where heat, okay, air is moving downward. Okay, so when air is moving downward, it pushes the ground air. okay, and then not allowed to rise vertically. And because of this reason, the ground air, means whatever the warm air, that always remain here. So heat waves from when a high pressure luft, high pressure from troposphere, high means 3 to 7 6 kilometers, strengthens and remain over a region for several days up to several weeks. So high pressure यहाँ पर काफी दिन तक रहेगा. So this high pressure will not allow to rising of the warm air, because this warm air, when it will be rise, it will be cause means help in formation of cloud, then rainfall वगैरह सारा होगा, तो that heat waves condition will be not occur. But if the air is trapped completely, ground air is not able to rise, so that place always remain have a more temperature. So high pressure system force air downward. Whatever the air is rising, that move downward. Okay, it's moving downward. So this force prevents this forces prevents air near the ground to form rising. The sinking air act like a cap. It traps the warm ground air in place, and this causes a further decrease in further the not allowed to rise the air, and this is a reason behind for heat waves that occur most part of the country. Okay. Now this is important for also for mains exam. This will be a topic they can ask you. So what are the criteria for the heat wave? So heat wave is declared when the departure from normal temperature is 4 to 5 to 6 to 4 degrees Celsius, and severe heat wave is when the departure from normal is more than 6.4 degrees Celsius. Means suppose normal temperature in the month of March is recorded 20 degrees Celsius, and this year 22 it is somewhere around 26-27 degrees Celsius. So we can say this is the time, this is the condition of heat waves. For plain, based on actual maximum temperature, Indian Meteorological Department consider heat waves when actual maximum temperature is more than 45 degrees Celsius, and severe heat wave when it is more than 47 degrees Celsius. So maybe they can ask you a question in exam, which of the following statement is correct regarding heat waves. Now this apart, if the locality records over 45 degree and 47 degree on any given day, then the Indian Meteorological Department declare heat wave and severe heat waves. Okay. Now, why India is experiencing a heat wave? More heat waves are. So first reason is now the you know very well that climate change is one reason. So magnifying effect of the paved and concrete surface in urban area and lack of tree cover. In urban area, when you will visit, you will find maximum area is now covered by concrete. Means concrete means entire a pakka ground. Okay, you will see a very less soils. So urban heat island effect can make ambient temperature feel to 3 to 4 degree more than what they are. So more heat waves were expected as globally temperature had risen an average of 0.8 degrees Celsius in the past 100 years. Nighttime temperature are rising too. Okay, so higher daily peak temperature and longer, more intense heat waves are becoming increasingly frequent globally due to climate change. So high intensity of ultraviolet rays is in medium high heat wave zones. So combination of exceptional heat stress and a predominantly rural population make India vulnerable to heat waves. Okay, so maybe they can ask you a question in exam, which of the following is the reason India. Now, what should we do in future so that heat wave we can able to tackle? Okay, deal with the such condition. So identifying heat hotspots through appropriate tracking of meteorological data and promoting timely development and implementation of local heat action plan with strategic interagency coordination and a response which target the most vulnerable groups. So first of all, we have to identify which part of the India where heat waves are happen and at what time these heat waves are happen with the help of meteorological data. Okay, and review of existing occupational health standard, labor laws, sectoral regulation for worker safety in relation to climatic conditions. Okay, the review of existing occupational health standard must be improved. Labor law must be implemented properly. Okay, so working hour of the labor is changed timely, or they are so that they are very less affected due to the heat waves, and worker safety is very important. Policy intervention and coordination across the three sector health, water and power is necessary. Okay, health sector, water should be available every time, and electricity must be present, because in such a case, if you are surviving without fan, without cooler AC, then this will be a problem. So promotion of traditional adaptation practices such as staying indoors, wearing comfortable clothes. Okay, popularization of simple design features such as shaded windows, underground water storage tanks, and insulating housing materials. So advanced implementation of local heat action plan plus effective interagency coordination is a vital response which the government can deploy in order to protect vulnerable groups. Okay. Another important news article is related to one important scheme called Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, and that is called Gramin. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. So recently, Rural Development Ministry has taken the following initiative to ensure timely completion of the houses under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. So what are the important steps have taken initiatives like a regular review of progress at the level of ministry to ensure timely completion of targeted houses, daily monitoring on various parameters like gaps in sanctions of houses, cleaning of PWL of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. Okay, timely allocation of all the targets. See, this is the, maybe they can ask you what are, how we able to achieve the target. Okay, so we will able to achieve the targets when we have a proper monitoring system. Okay, and not about the central but state and even a local government must be participative. Okay, so it says that daily monitoring of various parameters like gaps in sanction of houses cleaning, permanent wait list. PWL is a permanent wait list. Okay, under of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. Timely allocation target to the states or UTs and release of adequate funds at the level of ministry. Promotion of eco-friendly and innovative technologies for house construction. Steps are being taken to increase the coverage of rural mason training program, which would increase the availability of trained mason, leading to faster construction of quality of houses. Okay. Now, performance of the scheme. Under the scheme, 2.28 crore houses have been sanctioned to the beneficiaries, out of which 1.75 crore houses have been completed as on March 2022. So let's focus on Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. So which ministry is implementing? And this is under the Ministry of Rural Development. Erstwhile rural housing scheme called Indra Awas Yojana has been restructured into Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin from the 1st April 2016. The main aim to providing a pakka house with the basic amenities to all houseless householders and those householders living in a kacha and DC dilapidated house by 2024. So target year is 2024. This is important. Construction of 2.95 crore houses with all basic amenity by the year 2024. All basic amenity means providing a proper sanitations. Okay, water facility, drinking water must be pipe will be separate. So all amenities are required here. Electricity must be present. Now the cost sharing of this project, the cost of unit assistance in this scheme is shared between the central and state government in the ratio of 60:40 in the plain area and 90:10 for northeastern and Himalayan state. The scheme envisages training of rural masons, okay, those who are constructing the houses, with the objective improving workmanship and quality of construction of houses, while at the same time increasing ability of skilled masons and enhancing employability of such masons. Now the selection of beneficiaries. So based on housing deprivations parameters of socio-economic and caste census 2011, subject to 13-point exclusion criteria followed by Gram Sabha verification. Now, new infrastructure project of the government for improving the India infrastructure along the line of actual control. And you know, line of actual control is your India-China border. So according to the report, the department related to Parliamentary Standing Committee on Home Affairs, the infrastructure on the Indo-China border is undergoing a major upgrade, more so in the aftermath of border row that led to skirmishes with Chinese troops in Galwan 2020. So this is very important for Indian government to strengthen its border infrastructure so that we are able to improve accessibility of those part of the border area where it is difficult to reach in a very short period of time. Because of ongoing dispute we see between India and China is continuously increasing, and also with the rest of the India's neighbor countries. So in that case, infrastructure development is very important. Now 18 border roads are already completed and operational, 7 are about completed, and work on 8 roads under phase 11 of Indo-China border road projects. So under the Vibrant Village Initiative, under the Border Area Development Program, development will be pushed these in the border village by building road, mobile towers, banks, etc. See, so these are the some important area things will be developed. Building roads, mobile towers, banks will be also there. Okay. So border infrastructure reality check. So the 430-meter bridge built by Border Road Organization over River Shyok, Lonking, Durbuk and Daulat Beg Oldie at an altitude of 15,000 feet in eastern Ladakh. So this is the bridge that was built by this Border Road Organization. Now it's planned for the construction of 73 strategic roads. Total length is 464 kilometer. Okay, 643 kilometer along the line of actual control for better troop mobility, so that troops can be enter very easily. First approved in 1999, decided 2006, and all 73 roads by 2012. Now the 30 roads abhi kiya medium progress kiya 35 to 36 out of 61 35 roads under B are fully completed till now. 11 more target for completion 2020 and 61 road by December 2022. Now for upgrade forward air bases and advanced landing grounds is also planning for helicopter landing, aeroplane landing. Okay, good progress. ALG in Eastern Ladakh, Nyoma, DBO, Fukchi and Arunachal Pradesh, Pasighat, Mechuka, Walong, Tuting along N0 activated. And railway plan is also for construction 14 strategic railway line on front with China and Pakistan, approved by the Defense Ministry in 2010. Army identified 3 lines in northeast and 1 in Jammu and Kashmir to top priorities. So these are the plan by the government of India for infrastructure development along the border. So latest border tension with China at the multiple points along the line of actual control are more serious than the past incident. Okay, 1962 war. Okay, you will see indicating China planning and its the likelihood of protracted standoff. So this is like a continuous war that is fight China want with India. So therefore, creation of infrastructure would help integrate this area with the hinterland, create a positive perception of care by the country, and encourage people to stay on the border area, leading to a safe and secure borders. So those who are living in that area, that will also feel a secure, safe and secure. So India and China border stands for 3,488 kilometer long. The entire boundary is disputed, eastern, western, middle part. The line which delineates the boundary between the two countries is popularly known the McMahon line, after its author's son, Henry McMahon. So in 1913, the British Indian government had called a tripartite conference in which the boundary between India and Tibet was formalized after the discussion with India and the Tibetans. A convention was adopted which resulted in the delineation of Indo-Tibetan boundary. This boundary is, however, disputed by China, which termed it as illegal. So China is not saying that the Tibet have no any authority for signing a border agreement in his absence with the Indian country. So again in 1957, China occupied Aksai Chin and built a road through it. This episode was followed by intermittent clashes along the border, which finally culminated in the border war of 1962. The boundary which came into existence after the war came to be known as line of actual control. It is a military held line. So what is this BR Border Area Development Program? So Border Area Development Program was launched by the Ministry of Home Affairs in 1986-87 as a part of comprehensive approach to border management. It was initiated for ensuring balanced development of border area through development of infrastructure and promotion of sense of security among the border population. Now this includes the state covers like Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Punjab, Rajasthan, Sikkim, Tripura, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand and West Bengal. So now we have a new important news article that is from Science and Technology, and this is called Small Satellite Launch Vehicles. Now ISRO is planning to launch a small satellite launch vehicle. So Indian Space Research Organization is geared up for maiden flight of its mini rocket launcher called Small Satellite Launch Vehicles in the month of May. So what this is called a small satellite launch vehicle. Launch vehicle is a what is called this launch vehicle. We have a small launch vehicle, we have augmented small launch vehicle, we have a polar satellite launch vehicle, we have geostationary satellite launch vehicle. So launch vehicle is a, you can say, type of vehicle that carry a satellite and send it to its respective orbits. Okay, so this is called a launch vehicle. Satellite not go if you want to send a satellite into the orbit, so we have to send with the help of launch vehicles. Now the indigenously developed mini rocket launcher is specifically designed to carry small commercial satellite into a low earth orbit from 2000 to 2000 kilometer to above the earth surface. It has payload capacity up to 500 kg. It is designed to bolster the agency partnership with the private sector for the launch of commercial satellites. The small satellite launch vehicle is the smallest vehicle at 110 tons mass at the ISRO. It will take only 72 hours to integrate. Only 6 people will be required to do job. The cost will be around 30 crore. This will be also not as high, it can carry will be a 500 kg. Also, it is best suited for the launching multiple micro satellite at a time and support multiple orbit drop-offs. So if this will be achieved, this will be also one important achievement for the government. So small satellite into low orbit has become significant in recent years on account of the need for developing countries, private corporations and universities for small satellites. So about 15 to 20 small satellite launch vehicles would be required every year to meet the national demand alone. So what is the PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle? So launch of a small satellite has until now been dependent on piggyback rides with big satellite launchers on ISRO's workhorse like Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, which has had over 50 successful launches so far. So it can launch satellite weighing the range of 1000 kg, but it takes 70 days to integrate this launch vehicle. It is the third generation launch vehicle of India. It is the first Indian launch vehicle to be equipped with liquid stages. So these points are important for polar satellite launch vehicle. Maybe they can ask you a question in exam. And you must know the difference between polar satellite and geostationary satellite launch vehicle. Geosynchronous, okay. So PSLV was developed to launch low Earth orbit. It was for low Earth orbit is between 200 to 2000 kilometer altitude. So satellite into polar and sun synchronous orbit. It has since proved its versatility by launching geosynchronous lunar and interplanetary spacecraft successfully. On the other hand, GSLV was developed to launch the heavier INSAT Indian satellite over geosynchronous satellite. Geosynchronous orbit is 36,000 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. That is synchronous with the Earth. Okay. So into orbit, it is third and final stage. GSLV uses the indigenous developed cryogenic upper stage. Okay, so this I think these are the only news for today's important. Okay, so I will share this PDF file with you all. You can download it. Okay, and read it because we cover the most important news of this week, and that will be important for your exam also. Okay. Any doubt, you can ask me a question if you have doubt. Okay, so thanks for today. You will I will share this file and you can download it. Thank you.